You're watching Good Morning Suncoast at 5.
A former Florida governor continues to press the FBI on documents connected to 9/11. Was a former Sarasota family aware of the attack?
Plus, a rat infestation at a local apartment complex will tell you where and what family found in their home.
And look at this, where some folks in Florida found a Burmese python lurking.
Oh.
Good Morning Suncoast starts right now. Good morning. It is July 20th, Friday. We've made it to Friday. I'm Ray Collins.
And I'm Stephanie Webb. Thanks for waking up with us this morning. A pretty quiet start to the morning so far, unlike a couple other days this week. Will the rest of the day be like this, John Scalzi?
You're talking about the weather.
Yes.
I see. Yeah, we haven't had a lot of thunderstorm activity during the overnight. You know what? I think maybe we might catch a little bit of a break, especially tomorrow, in terms of the heavier rainfall that we have had. And we've had some pretty heavy rainfall at times in places across the Suncoast, though a lot of places haven't seen a whole lot. So it's been kind of spotty, hit and miss, and that's kind of how it's going to shape up again today. We have some showers out in Gulf waters. We don't have a lot over land right now. I think as we head into mid-morning, we'll see more of those showers that are over the waters move over the land. And so we still have a pretty good chance of seeing some rainfall around today. Temperatures are generally in the upper 70s and inland areas, closer to the 80-degree mark or a little better than along the coastline. We've got an 85 at Longboat Key, 83 Englewood, 82 in Venice. Day planner calls for, again, more rain today. We'll detail that forecast for you coming up in a few.
All right, it's a date. Talk to you soon. Thank you, John. Let's check the maps right now. First alert traffic. Not showing too much right now in Manatee County. Little issue way up there on 75 northbound as you take the 275 off ramp to head toward the Sunshine Skyway Bridge. In fact, that's where Marla mentioned some construction issues, some slowdowns there already this morning. Let's check farther south now to the northern half of Sarasota County. Little blip there on the westbound lanes of Clark Road as you go from Honore toward McIntosh, otherwise all clear. And then our final map to the south will show some buildup there, 41 southbound after you pass the bypass. 41 in Venice. A former Florida senator and governor is still trying to link a former Sarasota family to the 9/11 hijackers. Bob Graham went to Miami federal court yesterday to appeal for the release of documents. His lawsuit is seeking FBI files that he says could uncover a U.S.-based support network for some 9/11 hijackers. ABC 7 talked to Graham via Skype yesterday. A Saudi family living in Palmer Ranch was believed to have some ties with some of the hijackers. They mysteriously moved out of their home 2 weeks before the attack. Graham doesn't think the FBI is telling everything they know.
We think there are major withholding of information and false information, and hopefully the federal court will order that the truth be made known.
A decision could still be some 2 weeks away.
A Sarasota mother is claiming that rats have infested her apartment over the past 2 months. She says her apartment complex has been out several times to treat the issue, but those rats still find their way back in.
Marla Spence taking a closer look now at the Garden Grove Apartments off South Lockwood Ridge Road. Marla?
Good morning, guys. I'm live outside of this apartment complex where one woman and also a mother of 4 says she doesn't quite know what to do after seeing rats in her apartment. Ashley Randall says her husband, and also her 4 kids, who are all under 9 years old, moved into the apartment back in February. She says when she moved in, she saw no signs of rats, and she was pretty happy with her choice until last month when she spotted the rodents in her apartment. She says she's been in touch with maintenance, and they've been out to treat the issue by covering up holes and laying down traps, but still she's had a problem with the pest. Randall says in the month of June alone, pest control contracted with Garden Grove Apartments collected about 7 rats. She says just recently this week she spotted one in her kitchen.
I don't know, like, when we're sleeping, if they're crawling on my children, if they're like all in my house at night, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's a health hazard for my kids. And I barely cook here. Most of the time I go to my mom's and I have dinner at her house because it's just, I don't know what they've been crawling on, what they've been chewing on, you know, and it's gross.
We did speak to Pest Control, who is contracted with the apartment complex. Matt Hall says the rat issue stems from a street project that happened just around the time Randall started seeing rats in her apartment. He says he's been working around the clock to fix the issue.
Typically, there's no quick fix for the rats. You know, they're constantly looking for a way in. So I've been working on it the entire time. It's not like they called and nobody did anything. Obviously, there's a trap in the unit. There's also traps up in the attic. And then the ceiling up on the exterior of the building also.
Now, we did try to speak to management on site, and they refused to give us a comment, and they directed us to call their corporate office, but they did not answer. As for Randall, she says she wished she could move at this time, but she says by living paycheck to paycheck, that just doesn't seem feasible right now. Reporting live in Sarasota, Marla Spence for ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
A recall alert for you this morning. A nationwide salmonella outbreak could be linked to raw turkey. According to the CDC, the outbreak has already made 90 people sick. 40 of those were hospitalized. Officials have reported cases in 26 states so far since November, but they hadn't been able to find a direct source just yet. Now, that meat was purchased from different locations and in different forms, including ground turkey, turkey pieces, and even whole turkeys. Now, the CDC says samples of raw turkey products and live turkeys both tested positive for that outbreak strain of salmonella.
So to help prevent salmonella infection, wash your hands after handling any raw meat or poultry. Cook the products to be recommended temperature and avoid feeding raw food to pets as well. Symptoms include fever, stomach cramps, and usually last about 4 to 7 days. Most people recover without any treatment.
A developing story out of Iowa this morning. Cleanup is now underway today after tornadoes touched down east of Des Moines. ABC's Diane Macedo has the latest on the damage done throughout that state.
Oh my God.
Cameras were rolling as devastating tornadoes touched down in Iowa. Homes were ripped apart in Bondurant, about 13 miles outside of Des Moines.
Honey, get inside. There just went a house. There just went a house. Houses are going.
Watch as the violent wind topples a clock tower.
Oh!
In nearby Pella, workers at a manufacturing plant say the factory is virtually destroyed.
There is significant structural damage and personal property damage across the Vermeer campus.
In the factory's parking lot, the employees' cars are piled up on top of each other. Witnesses say at least one tornado was on the ground for several minutes.
We saw electricity flickering real bad and then a lot of debris coming up in the air, and that's when we started to evacuate our area.
All I saw was just a mile-wide dark cloud. I could see the rotation and everything. It just filled me with dread, in all honesty.
This morning, a state of emergency is in effect in Marshalltown, where witnesses say every business on the city's main street has some sort of damage. Jordy Kalk of our Cedar Rapids station is there.
Take a look at this damage. This is the roof off of one of the homes in town. Other houses have their windows broken and siding ripped off, all because of that horrific storm.
No, no, no. Oh, man. Oh, come on.
This driver in Valeria captured a tornado moving across the road after tearing apart a building.
Debris everywhere.
Diane Macedo, ABC News, New York.
5:08 right now. Russia's defense ministry has released new videos this week of advanced weapons systems. The videos were actually uploaded on YouTube yesterday by Russia. These weapons are the ones Russian President Vladimir Putin first announced during a national address back in March. The videos were released just days after the summit in Helsinki with President Trump and President Putin.
Right now, Houston police are trying to figure out who tried to set a mosque on fire. Investigators say somebody jumped over a gate, then sprayed a flammable liquid on the front door, and then set it on fire. A caretaker heard the fire alarms and was able to put out the fire before it spread. Mosque leaders say that they are keeping their doors open to worshipers, and they are ready to forgive the arsonist.
As a community, we hold no ill will towards anybody who was behind this.
Now, Houston police are working with the FBI to figure out if this was a hate crime.
According to a recent poll, Hispanic and African American voters say they are more likely to encounter problems while voting. While most Americans say they've not experienced issues, some do report trouble taking time off from work or finding the correct polling location. This even though polls are open for at least 12 hours a day and locations rarely change from year to year. Others said that they were told their names weren't listed despite being registered. Around 5% said they were harassed or bothered while trying to vote. The survey found that African American or Hispanic voters experienced these problems more than their white neighbors by 5 to 10 percentage points.
The town of Longboat Key is using a new tool to try and crack down on rental violations. Now, the town has a 30-day minimum rental requirement for homes and other private properties, but the popularity of websites like Airbnb are tempting more owners to break those rules. But since June, code enforcement officers have been able to fine violators between $100 and $500 right there on the spot, passing out over 20 fines in the last month alone to the delight of some year-round residents.
We'll get what we're supposed to have out here, which is a 1-month minimum and not overnights and weekly.
The town's interest is never going to be in fining people. Our interest is in compliance.
Now, owners, renters, and property management companies have all been among those fined so far. One company is facing over $2,300 for 6 citations just this month alone.
And happening today, candidate for Florida Governor Adam Putnam will be hosting a meet and greet today in Venice. The current Agriculture Secretary will be at the historic train depot from 3 to 4 o'clock this afternoon. Putnam is trailing in some recent polls in the Republican primary to Jacksonville area Congressman Ron DeSantis. The primary is set for late August. Still ahead on Good Morning Suncoast, we'll show you where a 6-foot python was found.
Not in my house.
Not there, luckily. Right.
Coming up a little later in the hour, more construction could be headed to St. Armand's Circle. We're going to tell you about a $400,000 project that you can expect. We'll have that story for you. But first,
here's a peek outside our window. Pretty calm out there today. All eyes on the Friday and weekend forecast, Professor Scalzi.
Well, a lot of people heading to the beach this weekend, I'll bet you, no doubt about it. And the beach forecast, well, the UV index up a little bit today compared to yesterday. Yesterday it was at an 8, actually, and today it's at an 11. So there'll be a little bit more sunshine around, but we'll also see some passing showers. By the way, in terms of red tide, yeah, not so good. We have in Venice a moderate amount of red tide being reported in the air in terms of the respiratory distress caused by those toxins in the water. And in Minnesota, it's an intense region right now. So we also have a few spotty areas where it's at low. And red tide has increased over the course of the last couple of days. We'll have the complete forecast for you coming up in a few.
Everything all right? Actually, you know how Tom had knee surgery? Sure. We found out Brad's been taking his painkillers. And it turns out he's been doing it for a while.
Most people don't know what to say about drugs, but we do. Visit us at drugfree.org.
When it comes to drinking, what do you think moderation is? The U.S. Dietary Guidelines define moderation as up to 1 drink a day for women and up to 2 drinks a day for men. So what's a drink? The guidelines say a drink equals 12 ounces of beer, 5 ounces of wine, or a cocktail with 1.5 ounces of distilled spirits. Each contains the same amount of alcohol. Like to learn more? Visit drinkinmoderation.org.
Every week on Animal Outtakes, it's a new animal adventure. And this week, we're taking a look back at some of our favorite stories. A hospital dedicated strictly to helping sea turtles, how this facility is making a difference. And you won't find this species of owl up in a tree. He's a burrowing owl, and he digs tunnels underground. Join us this week on ABC 7.
The thought of my sons growing up without me inspired me to quit smoking.
I talked to my doctors, and then I threw away all my cigarettes, ashtrays, and lighters.
I started exercising instead of smoking.
Letting my friends online know I was quitting kept me on track.
Staying away from alcohol when I was first quitting was key.
I kept on trying, learned something each time.
Do whatever it takes.
No matter how many times it takes.
We did it. You can too.
For free help, visit cdc.gov/tips.
There was this big bruise on my friend's face. I didn't want to see it.
I didn't want to think her own nephew could have hit her.
I didn't want to see it. My mother's bank account was emptied, and a caregiver had taken control of it.
I didn't want to see it. My father's refrigerator, there was hardly anything in it. That's unusual for him.
It's tough to see that a senior citizen is being abused, physically, emotionally, sexually, or financially. Elder abuse is a crime.
So see the signs, stop the crimes.
My name is Haley. I have Fragile X syndrome. I work with Chartwells at Einstein's and FAU. I like being up front and interacting with students. The students are very nice and very hungry. Having a job is a big ticket for independence.
Hi, this is Dan Marino. When your business recruits people with disabilities, everybody wins. To find out how, go to disabilitieswork.employflorida.com.
Now your ABC 7 First Alert weather forecast with meteorologist John Scalzi.
A 78-degree temperature with a dew point value of 77 already at this morning. We are looking at a sticky start to the day, but a little bit clearer cloud sky cover out there right now. 81 degrees, our heat index, making it feel about 3 degrees warmer than the actual air temperature thanks to that humidity. South-southeast wind coming in at about 6. The southerly flow continues today, pumping in the moisture, giving us good rain chances. About a 30% chance by 7 o'clock this morning as a few scattered showers roll on shore. Then as we head into the noontime hour, about 50%. Then we'll push those showers into inland areas and trend the forecast rain chances down a little bit as we head into 4, 5, 6 o'clock in the afternoon. A lot of showery activity continuing on in North Florida. I'll tell you what, this river of moisture still continues across the Big Bend region back up into the Panhandle, Cape San Blas to about Dunedin, seeing very excellent chances of some heavy rainfall over the course of the weekend, possibly leading to some localized flooding up there. Now for us, again, we are on the tail end of this system, still enjoying this southerly wind flow though. So we do have a few scattered showers out here in the Gulf waters, and a couple of them are going to make it toward our area. Probably in the next hour, we'll see a few of these showers hit the coastline. Nothing really heavy, not looking at any thunderstorm activity here, but still a coastal march of showers expected through the morning hours and into the early afternoon. So a mix of sun and clouds around as dawn breaks here on the Suncoast. We'll see perhaps a little bit more sunshine over the course of the next 48 hours as we get a little bit of drier air. Now this is again a graphic that shows the moisture available to produce rainfall in the atmosphere. This red is wetter. Redder is wetter on this particular graphic. And as I put it into motion, you'll notice a little bit of this drier air trying to work its way in briefly across the area. And that's for Saturday. So on Saturday, I'll reduce the rain chances again just a little. All the models pretty consistent on this, but I will tell you that it is a very short-lived event as the moisture starts to return pretty quickly and leaves us in this deep plume of moisture really for most of next week. So it looks like wet conditions are probably going to continue for a while. Southwest wind at about 10 to 15, maybe getting a little breezy this afternoon. Forecast calling for a daytime high today of around 90. With a 60% chance of showers again today. And then tomorrow we'll drop it down a little bit to about 40%. There'll still be showers around, but a little bit drier. That doesn't last long. Back to 50% on Sunday, 60% on Monday next work week. Probably by midweek, those 50 and 60% rain chances will be the more typical rain chances, with showers building inland and drifting back to the coast in the afternoon. Back to you.
Thanks so much, John. Let's take a look outside and check your first alert traffic in Manatee County. The roads are looking pretty smooth right there. Not too much going on. No real big traffic blips on this Friday morning because I can't speak. And then in the top half of Sarasota County, those roads are also looking pretty decent. Not too much going on yet at this hour. A little farther south in the area, about 75, 41 are running pretty smooth. One little blip right there, as you can see on 41, right before you hit Nokomis and Venice. That area is just a little bit of delayed there, but other than that, roads are looking pretty good at 519.
All right, look at this, folks. 6-foot Burmese python was found at the loading dock of a Miami freight company this week. Reporter Sheldon Fox got an up-close look.
There we go. Oh yeah.
In a trucking bay of a freight company, some slithery, unexpected cargo. A python was spotted here off of Northwest 25th Street in Doral by employees who figured this was as good a time as any to call in the experts.
As you hear that sound?
Oh yeah, he's making noise.
Yeah, it's a hissing sound. It's a defense mechanism.
Enter AA Native Wildlife, guys who are hip to and entirely unafraid of a hissing reptile with some tough-looking teeth.
Jeez. And as you can see those teeth? Those teeth are about 120 ridgeback teeth there.
Burmese python, 6+ feet in length, found in a spot where it is definitely not comfortable here in Doral. But Native Wildlife was called and they came to the rescue, coming from Southwest Miami-Dade, to save the day for this guy.
We arrived, we basically saw the snake in the wheel well. We did what we could, Manny and myself, to try to remove the snake out of the wheel well. There's a canal system here in Doral that runs directly to the Everglades. Okay. And as you know, Doral does border the Everglades, so it's very probable.
They say this animal looks malnourished for its size and maturity and is a sure danger to people or pets. But soon enough, it'll be well fed and in not as much of a hissing mood.
Oh, that last shot was crazy.
Quite a
Whoa,
shot.
we're both like, oh. Still to come on Good Morning Suncoast, 2 social media apps are now cracking down on underage users. We'll tell you what they're doing to the accounts of those that are under the age of 13. We're going to tell you that in today's Tech Bites.
And next half hour, as hundreds of teachers are still needed right here on the Suncoast. We'll tell you about the help wanted signs that have gone up on Good Morning Suncoast coming up.
Are you a soccer mom or dad? Regardless of their age or experience level, when your kids play soccer or any other sport, there's one person on the sideline who is key to help recognize and seek medical care for sports-related concussion. It's you. You need to know the signs and symptoms of concussion, and you need to act if you think your child has been injured. Remember, when in doubt, sit them out. To learn more, go to cdc.gov/concussion. 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004.
Tonight on ABC 7 News at 7.
President Putin, he just said it's not Russia. I will say this, I don't see any reason why it would be.
The sentence should have been, I don't see any reason why it wouldn't be Russia.
President Trump clarifying his statements about Russia interference, then clarifies his clarification. I'm Alan Cohen, a trapezoid you wouldn't want to miss.
Tonight on ABC 7 News at 7. Your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
I witnessed him have 2 heart attacks in ICU. He went through seizures.
We'd much rather have Aaron like this than dead. A lot of parents don't have that luxury.
He can't talk. He can't walk. This is a condition Aaron will live with for the rest of his life because he abused prescription pills.
Mind your meds. Learn more from the Partnership for Drug-Free Kids.
Hi, I'm Janelle Hale, founder and CEO of the National Breast Cancer Foundation. No one should face breast cancer alone. When I was diagnosed 36 years ago, there was no internet, and I had to make a decision with little information. Early detection saved my life. It could save yours too. To learn what every woman needs to know about breast cancer, visit nbcf.org/hope.
Ever since I can remember, I've been intrigued by industrial design and the optimization.
Wait, that's passion? Ever since I can remember, my passion has been industrial design. We need 3D printers for Miss Adams' engineering program so that we are ready to solve 21st century challenges.
Impressive. Think It Up is a new initiative to support student-powered, teacher-led learning projects. Students and teachers, how can you spark great learning experiences in your classroom today? Think It Up.
I am the resident district manager on the FAU campus for Chartwell. Whenever I see Haley, I do not see a person with a disability. I see a person with extraordinary abilities. Haley is always smiling. She's always on time. She gives fantastic customer service and is always focused on any job that she's given.
Hi, this is Dan Marino. When your business recruits people with disabilities, everybody wins. To find out how, go to disabilitieswork.employflorida.com.
Welcome back. It is 5:24. Facebook and Instagram are about to get more aggressive in cracking down on underage users.
Details in today's Tech Bites.
In today's Tech Bites, Facebook and Instagram are cracking down on underage users.
Moderators can now lock the accounts of users they suspect are under the age of 13. They no longer need a complaint from another user.
Those locked out will have to show proof of age to regain access.
And now you can see when your Instagram friends are online. A new feature puts a green dot next to active users' names.
The dot will be in the direct messaging area and on your friends list. You will only see status for people who follow you. And if you've ever wanted to fly like an Iron Man, a British inventor has just the thing for you.
The former commodities trader showed off his jet-powered suit outside a London store. Interested customers can pick one up for about $500,000.
Is that all?
What could possibly go wrong?
I've actually seen him fly it around a cruise ship. It's
Oh,
pretty
yeah?
fascinating.
No crash landing?
Not yet. Those are your Tech Bites.
Have a great day and a great weekend.
Tech Bites, sponsored by Sherwin-Williams Paint.
Ask Sherwin-Williams during the 4-day super sale and bring color home. From July 20th to the 23rd, get 40% off paints and stains. Visit your neighborhood Sherwin-Williams store today.
Salads should look like this. Crisp leaves of lettuce, freshly made dressing, clean food that looks this good, delivered to your desk. Now delivering to home or office. Panera, food as it should be.
Parodontax, the toothpaste that helps prevent bleeding gums. If you spit blood when you brush or floss, you may have gum problems and could be on the journey to much worse. Help stop the journey of gum disease. Try Parodontax toothpaste.
They say you're supposed to deny your cravings. You know what I do instead? I snack on Blue Diamond almonds. Wasabi and soy sauce? Don't deny your cravings. Eat them.
All the flavors you crave in a superfood. Blue Diamond almonds. Crave victoriously.
You now have the power to prioritize your Facebook feed and get local news and information from the team you trust. Go to the ABC7 Sarasota page on Facebook. Give us a like, then click following and choose See First. That's it. Customize even more by choosing notifications. Choose breaking news, posts, live videos, anything you want to see in real time. Take control of your newsfeed and stay connected to what's happening in your community with ABC7 on Facebook.
My name is Stephen Jaffe. The law firm's name is Farmer Jaffe. One of the beautiful things about Julius is he's always smiling, and it becomes infectious. The fact that Julius has a disability has absolutely nothing to do with the quality of work that he's done. Just a great person you want on your staff.
Hi, this is Dan Marino. When your business recruits people with disabilities, everybody wins. To find out how, go to disabilitieswork.employflorida.com.
I took my first handful of pills, and that's when all my priorities seemed to change.
He would ask to use the bathroom in other people's homes.
He just assumed that they would have medication.
He'd go in their medicine cabinets and steal prescription drugs.
I wish I knew really what these prescription pills were.
We were so naive about the whole drug thing.
These are all synthetic forms of heroin.
Keep your medication locked up because you'll never notice that a pill is gone.
Mind your meds. Learn more from the Partnership for Drug-Free Kids.
We've all heard how military veterans adjusting to the civilian world may have certain issues.
30. 70.
If only everyone had this issue. No matter what challenge they face, Easter Seals is here for America's veterans.
The ABC7 First Alert weather app just got even better. It's easy to use once you download it. First, tell the app to follow you, so you get alerts pinpointed to exactly where you are. Then customize your settings with all the places you go, from the beach to grandmother's house. Get accurate alerts for everyone you care about. You can even pick which weather alerts and categories you want and what they sound like. More ways to customize and more ways to keep your family safe. Download the ABC7 First Alert weather app today. When ABC7 declares a First Alert weather day, it means we can expect major changes to weather conditions here along the Suncoast.
It means there could be severe, potentially dangerous weather ahead.
We tell you when a First Alert weather day is coming because we want you to be prepared.
A first alert weather day is an advance warning. We'll let you know about any changes in the weather when the first signs appear.
ABC 7 First Alert Weather. We're here for you.
You're watching Good Morning Suncoast at 5:30.
It's out of this world. I don't even know how to describe it.
This morning, we're hearing from witnesses of a deadly boating accident on a Missouri lake.
Plus, in this area, a rat infestation at a local apartment complex. To tell you what one family found in their home.
And happening today, for the first time ever, the Rugby World Cup is going to be taking place in the U.S. We have those stories and more right now on Good Morning Suncoast. And good morning to you on this Friday morning. It's 5:30. I'm Stephanie Webb.
I'm Ray Collins. So there is a Rugby World Cup.
Yes, and it's coming here.
That's what I hear. All right.
That's what I've got.
Also coming here, some scattered showers off the coastline. Hey, what do you got for us, John?
Right you are, sir. We do have a few, I don't know where that came from. That's like a weird Friday, I guess. We have some showers out here in the Gulf waters gradually drifting closer to the coastline. They're moving at a fairly decent clip at about 20 miles per hour, a little less than that. And I think they'll probably, within the next half hour, clip parts of Longboat Key and Holmes Beach, I would say. The Doppler radar estimates coming in at about 612 for Longboat Key and 620 for Holmes Beach. Temperatures across the region are looking pretty good. 76 degrees in Wauchula, Arcadia, Mayac, a little cooler than yesterday by a degree or two. Along the coastline, we've got 85 Longboat Key, 82 Venice, 83 in Inglewood, so still kind of sticky out there. The dew point value is up around 76 degrees. Expect about a 30% chance of showers during the morning hours, and then as we head into lunchtime, about a 50% chance. Heading into 3 p.m., about 40% chance. Your weekend forecast in a second.
All right, we'll talk to you soon. Let's check the traffic right now as you awaken on this Friday morning. Already an issue for you, southbound 75 at University. So right there at the diverging diamond, a problem there. And you'll see some residual backup already under our little blue indicator there. So be aware of that if you're heading southbound on 75. Otherwise, all clear right now in Manatee County. Checking farther south, we can get a little better glimpse there of that issue, though, at 75 and the interstate. And University, rather. Otherwise, we've got 41 southbound at Bee Ridge and South County, all clear at 531. Sarasota City Commissioners held off making a decision this week on public restrooms for St. Armand's Circle. The Business Improvement District there wants to build 2 sets of restrooms on 2 different sides of the tourist area, one as you enter from the Ringling Causeway, the other on the opposite side. Now, businesses would pay the $500,000 cost. Here's an artist rendering. The city would pay for the regular cleaning and maintenance, which would be about $73,000 a year. The area is also getting public restrooms when the new parking garage opens behind the Columbia restaurant.
Your husband's missed it.
And an update on the other big construction project on St. Armand's Circle. That new parking garage is on schedule to be finished by December. The new construction will include more than 500 spaces and restrooms. Now, if you're wondering where to park now, the city says there are still plenty of available parking spots, even during construction. You can see the available parking spots highlighted in the green, and many of those are in walking distance to the circle itself.
A senior care facility in Venice is making sure its residents are safe in the hurricane season. A place called Home Instead Senior Care is providing 3 free hurricane kits to every one of its clients, as well as staff members. The kits are meant to help with the first 3 days of a storm. They include bottled drinking water, a battery-operated radio, and a lantern, as well as food items as well.
Teachers needed. That is the message from school districts in both Sarasota and Manatee counties. There were over 100 teacher openings just in Manatee County alone. There's also around 10 bus driver positions still available. Then in Sarasota County, there are 113 teaching jobs open and over 20 other administrative jobs. The new school year begins in less than a month.
Your chance to meet all 8 Sarasota County School Board candidates at the same time. The League of Women Voters is hosting a forum next month at Selby Library. It's August 6th at 5 p.m. There are 4 candidates running for 2 separate districts.
Well, it is that time of the year again. Summer cleanup, and Sarasota County is here to help. Dumpsters will be located throughout different parts of Englewood to help with the community cleanup. Residents are advised to clean out their garages as well as their tree trimmings. It's going to be taking place from 8 a.m. until noon tomorrow. For more information on where those dumpsters will be available, you can visit the story on our website at mysuncoastnews.com. And coming up right now, we've got Marla live in the field. One Sarasota family has actually discovered a rat infestation in their apartments. Our Marla Spence is live right now with the location and what exactly is that mother and the family has found in their home. Marla?
Good morning, guys. I'm live outside the Garden Grove apartment homes where one woman says she's had an issue inside her apartment that she wishes on no one. Ashley Randall, who is a mother and also a wife, says she moved into the Garden Grove apartments back in February. She says when she moved in, she said she saw no signs of rats and was pretty happy with her choice until last month when she spotted the rodents in her apartment. Randall says she's been in touch with management and maintenance, but she's still been having an issue.
The reason why the rat problem is because Sarasota tore up the roads over here, which caused the rats to go into the apartments, and that they're working on fixing it, but it's been about like 2 months now, and I have children, so it's a health hazard to my kids, and I pay $14.68 for a rat-infested apartment, and they haven't offered to move us to a different apartment in the same complex or nothing. The office manager said I can break my lease and I can leave.
We spoke to a licensed pest control owner, Matt Hall, and he is contracted with the apartment complex. He tells us he's been treating Randall's apartment, but he hasn't been at liberty to tell us if any other apartments have been impacted by any rats. He says he's been treating Randall's apartment with metal mesh.
What happens with that is when they go to chew through it, it tears their gums apart. You know, their teeth are harder than iron, so they can chew through anything. So there's a huge population in all of Sarasota and Bradenton
And we tried reaching out to management on yesterday. They were not at liberty to speak to us, and they directed us to call their corporate office, but they did not answer. So we are waiting to hear back from that corporate office. In the meantime, Randall says she does not want to break her lease and move because she said that she is working paycheck to paycheck and she just can't afford it right now. Reporting live in Sarasota, I'm Marla Spence for ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
Thank you, Marla. National news now. Domino's Pizza wants to open more than 2,000 new stores across the country. They're investing $120 million to prepare for the expansion. There are currently about 5,000 locations in the country. Over the next 10 years, the pizza chain said it would open about 2,350 more. The new locations could help expand Domino's takeout business as well.
And Wells Fargo, it's now paying up again for another mistake that's costing its customers some big bucks. The bank is now refunding customers who were charged for pet insurance, home warranties, or other types of insurance. According to the Wall Street Journal, thousands of customers were charged for dozens of add-on products that they didn't need or simply didn't understand they were paying for. Now, those refunds are on top of the hundreds of millions of dollars that Wells Fargo is already paying out for a different billing mistake.
Overseas now, dogs rescued from an illegal farm in South Korea are now up for adoption in Kansas. The Humane Society International rescued 50 dogs so far. 9 of them are available for adoption at Great Plains SPCA. Others were taken to shelters in Wisconsin and Indiana. This month, South Korea banned the practice of killing dogs for meat, but it is still legal to consume it.
Well, San Francisco will be hosting the Rugby World Cup for the first time ever. Now, more than 33 million people here in the U.S. are interested in the sport, which highlights the huge potential that this sport has in our country. CNN's Christina McFarland has a story.
One World Cup may be over, but another is just beginning. This year, for the first time ever, the Rugby Sevens World Cup is taking place on US soil and in one of the most iconic ballparks in Major League Baseball.
Welcome to AT&T Park, San Francisco. Over the next 3 days, 40 teams will compete for one of the biggest prizes in the sport, the Melrose Cup. And as you can see, the stadium has been transformed here, from the pitching round beneath me to the rugby goalposts and the try-line. Now, Rugby Sevens already has 30 million fans here stateside, but organisers are hoping that this week will be another giant step forward for the sport.
So what this has allowed us to do is come into another iconic city, a great potential rugby market, which is the USA, and we've also been able to give it some character. So by having so many teams and coming to San Francisco, coming to a baseball diamond that's not a rugby environment, we've had to be innovative.
It's not just the venue that's new. This year, new rules have turned this event into a straightforward knockout tournament. Win every game and you win the World Cup, lose at any point and you're out. It's a daunting prospect for the players, including New Zealand's men and women's team, who are both defending champions, hoping to make history this week.
No one's ever won World Cups back-to-back, so we want to be the first team to do that. So I guess it's going to be a pretty tough ask because it's a knockout tournament, which is different again. So we're looking forward to the challenge of trying to be the first team ever to go back-to-back World Cup.
The stage is set, the teams are ready, and this year it's a whole new ballgame.
Christina McFarlane, CNN, San Francisco.
Now, the first game of the tournament is going to be taking place this morning at 10 a.m.
Still ahead on Good Morning Suncoast, the biggest story right now nationwide. 5 people are missing after a fatal duck boat accident left 11 dead. It happened near Branson, Missouri. What we know so far about this tragedy.
But first, let's take a look outside this morning. Pretty quiet morning so far compared to some of those early morning storms we've had earlier this week. What does the day shaping up to look like over there, John Scalzi?
Yeah, so I think we're going to see a few scattered showers around, which is not a bad thing. I mean, we've reduced our fire danger index in Manatee County to where we're in the low category now, so that's good. Now we need to work on Sarasota and Charlotte counties, get them down into the low category as well. Air quality index, another good story here. Particulates are the major contributor, but the index is at a 39, which puts it solidly in the good category. So no health issues with your air quality across the Suncoast. Forecast for you coming up in a sec.
Today, everyone is looking for more fashionable choices in flooring than ever before. And G. Fried has responded with a huge selection of carpets, tile, wood, laminate, and vinyl. Installed by a highly skilled team, G. Fried has got everything you're looking for and more. The next time you think about quality flooring, think G. Fried Flooring America. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
Selfless service is the principle that guides Army National Guard soldiers to be ready whenever disaster strikes. They have a stake in the well-being of the neighborhoods where they live and work. They train part-time to be ready to serve at all times. Selfless service. It's what inspires the men and women of the Army National Guard to be part of something greater than themselves. Visit NationalGuard.com to learn more.
My name is Luke Perry, and I am 1 million strong. I'm in the fight against colorectal cancer because I believe we can win it. Colon and rectal cancers are the second leading cause of cancer deaths among men and women in the U.S. Colon cancer is preventable. Know the risk factors and make sure to get screened. There are simple, take-home options available. Take control of your health. Screening for colon cancer isn't embarrassing. It can be life-saving. To find out more about your options, visit fightcrc.org.
Meet Blue. Blue's not feeling well. The prescription? Generic medication. Blue wonders, do they really work as well as name brands? Yes, generics and name brand medications do work the same. Even though they may look different, generics have the same key ingredients. FDA approval is equally rigorous for generics to make sure they're as safe and effective as name brands. And Blue even saves some green, making him a little less, well, blue. Talk to your doctor about generics and visit fda.gov/generic drugs.
Thank you. You got a king?
Go fish! In your face, in your face,
It only takes a moment to make a moment. Take time to be a dad today.
My name is Julius. I have cerebral palsy. I work for Farmer Jeffrey Weising Law Firm. I do a lot of data entry and scanning documents. I want to increase my working experience to make the company much better. At the end of the day, it's good to think of the day's work and to think about what I have accomplished.
Hi, this is Dan Marino. When your business recruits people with disabilities, everybody wins. To find out how, go to abilitieswork.employflorida.com.
Now your ABC 7 First Alert weather forecast with meteorologist John Scalzi.
We're looking at 78 degrees as an air temperature with the dew point value almost the same, coming in at 77. Very thick, humid air still in place across the Suncoast. So there's nothing here that's going to preclude the showers from forming out in Gulf waters and moving onshore, especially with the southerly wind flow that we're having again this morning. 81, our heat index already at this hour. Go with about a 30% chance of showers as we head into the 7 a.m. Time frame. 78 degrees at that point. As we head into noon, our rain chances spike up to about 50%. I think we'll even see a few thunderstorms around as we head into mid-morning into the later morning. And then as we head into early afternoon, we'll transition that shower chance basically into inland areas and start reducing the coastal rain chance just a little bit. A lot of rainfall activity on radar again this morning, mostly toward North Florida, where again, this trough of low pressure is helping to induce these showers. Upper level winds helping to support them as well. So we're getting lots of rainfall that could lead to some coastalized flooding, especially in areas around the Big Bend region. Now, here, locally, we've got a few scattered showers off the coast, beginning to close in on areas around Holmes Beach and Longboat Key. I'd say over the next 15-20 minutes, you'll start to see these showers move onshore there, bringing you some brief periods of some heavier rainfall. Most of the area not experiencing any rain at this hour. But, as I mentioned, showers still out in the Gulf approaching the area will bring us decent rain chances over the course of the afternoon. Mix of sun and clouds today. The sunshine will, of course, helping to boost our temperatures up pretty rapidly into the near 90 range. High pressure still pushed down to the south, but there'll be some changes occurring over the course of the next 3 or 4 days. We'll watch this stalled frontal boundary, which has kept our high pressure ridge down to the south, begin to lift out of here ever so slowly. We'll stay in this southwest wind flow right straight through the weekend, though, but an approaching cold front from the west will approach next week, and that will tend to take that high pressure ridge and push it back out into the Atlantic, where we'll start to see the winds then shift to a more southeasterly direction, which is something we are more accustomed to in summer. We only see the pattern that we're in now about 30% of the time or so, and I think we'll switch back to a more typical pattern with those showers building inland and pushing back to the coast next week. For today, good rain chances. Slightly drier tomorrow, slightly, but still pretty good rain chances. And as we head into Sunday, those rain chances spike back up. And then a return to more typical weather starting next week. Now we're in this stream of tropical moisture, and that continues on really into next week. You look at the rainfall chances over a 5-day period, and I mean, some areas along the coastline here, we're talking 5-inch rainfalls accumulated day by day over days. And so it's going to be, I think, a wet week ahead, which is good. We could use the rain. Red tide still a problem. Minnesota spotters from Mote Marine reporting irritant in the air causing respiratory distress and put it in an intense category for Minnesota beaches. Venice Beach also in the moderate category, and then a couple of other beaches in the low category. So red tide has increased across the Suncoast. Hopefully over the weekend it'll kind of die down a little bit, but we'll still be under this southwest wind, and trajectory forecasts from University of South Florida push it southward a little bit along the coastline, toward the coastline, and may affect by the end of the weekend areas like Gasparilla. Southwest wind at about 10 to 15. The forecast calls for a daytime high today at about 90, 91 tomorrow. Good rain chances still through the weekend with a 50% chance on Sunday. And then as we head into next week, we'll keep the rain chances high, but perhaps the character of those showers may shift with inland showers drifting back to the coast in the afternoon. Back to you.
All right, thank you so much, John. Let's take a look outside and check that first alert traffic out there this morning. We do have one thing to tell you about right there in Manatee County. I-75 southbound, there's an accident right there at 213, which is University Parkway, of course. So again, in the southbound lane of I-75, there's an accident right there at University Parkway, exit 213. Then farther south in Sarasota County, those roads are still looking pretty decent at this point so far. Not too much going on there. That one that you're seeing at the top of your screen is still the University Parkway accident, not a different one. Those roads are still looking pretty okay for the most part. You can see some slowdowns already going on Clark Avenue. And then on that 681 connector, there are some delays going between 41 and 75 this morning. Other than that, though, traffic is not looking too bad at 549.
A developing story now out of Branson that everyone's talking about in Missouri. At least 11 people are dead, 5 are missing after a tour boat capsized and sank. As reporter John Lawrence tells us, bad weather may be to blame.
Missouri dive teams spent the overnight hours searching Table Rock Lake. They were looking for people aboard a duck boat when it capsized.
I was in the showboat, and I didn't see them fall over, but we all knew.
The boat started off with 31 people on board. Multiple fatalities have already been confirmed, some of whom were children.
It's out of this world. I don't even know how to describe it. It's just, I don't know.
Investigators are looking into what caused the accident, but they say debris from an earlier storm could be a factor. A severe thunderstorm warning was issued for the Branson area around 6:30 p.m. local time. The boat capsized about 30 minutes later. The parent company of the Ride the Ducks Branson Company said other boats that were on the lake at the same time were able to safely return to the dock. But for now, crews are helping those in need.
We called in all that we could. They're in good spirits. They know what to do in this sort of thing. They're doing their thing in there, and they are being their best for these folks who need us.
Governor Mike Parson issued a statement offering prayers for everyone involved in this accident. I'm John Lawrence reporting.
The man who inspired Robin Williams' character in the film Good Morning Vietnam has passed away. Adrian Cronauer died this week in a Virginia nursing home. He was a U.S. airman during the Vietnam War who hosted a radio show for the troops. After he retired, he worked for the Secretary of Defense in the early 2000s. He also served on several military and broadcasting boards. He was 79 years old.
Well, here's the race I want to check out. Drones were buzzing, sometimes even crashing into each other during California's biggest drone race ever. Check this out. 8 top qualifying teams from all over the world. They met up in Sacramento yesterday for the California Drone Speed Challenge. Now, it was a team from Europe that took home the grand prize of $25,000 in cash. One finalist said speed was the deciding factor, not just the flying and the landing and the skills it takes to do those. Now, Comcast, which put up the prize money, also made a $25,000 donation to their local Boys and Girls Club.
Unbelievable. New sport, huh?
Yeah, that's my new goal in life. I'm going to be a drone pilot. See you later, Ray.
Good luck with that. 5:51 right now. Live shot of some foggy conditions, it looks like, in downtown Atlanta. There's the Ferris wheel there. We'll update the day's top local news headlines straight ahead on Good Morning Suncoast.
Soldiers in the Army National Guard serve to give back to their country and communities. Their part-time commitment qualifies them for an array of benefits, such as affordable health and life insurance benefits, education benefits, including tuition assistance, student loan repayment and GI Bill programs, a retirement plan based on part-time service, and VA home mortgages. Visit NationalGuard.com to learn more about all the benefits available in the Army National Guard.
It's summer on the Suncoast, and you know what that means. It's Friday Fest season.
And you are invited. Join ABC7 for the Van Wezel Performing Arts Hall's free outdoor summertime concert series. Groove to the funk and soul of music by Florida's own Reverend Barry and the Funk on July 27th, featuring originals and covers by Earth, Wind & Fire, The Commodores, Kool and the Gang, and Prince.
For more information, go to this number or go to mysuncoast.com/FridayFest.
Hunger is a growing problem in our area, and a huge number of Suncoast residents are suffering in silence.
It could be your coworker,
your child's classmate,
or your friend fighting to secure their next meal. But you can help.
ABC7 is partnering with local organizations to help feed the Suncoast.
Go to mysuncoast.com/hunger to join the fight. Help us.
Help the hungry.
This is your brain. This is drugs. This is your brain on drugs. Any questions?
Yeah, I have questions.
Prescription drugs aren't as bad as street drugs, right?
Weed's legal, isn't it?
Drinking is worse than smoking weed.
Isn't it? Why
is heroin so addictive?
Molly just makes you feel happy.
I have questions.
Mom?
Dad, did you ever try drugs?
They're going to ask. Be ready. Go to drugfree.org. A message from Partnership for Drug-Free Kids.
We answered the call of duty and left our homes to serve in far-off lands. Now, we answer another call, this time at home, in our own communities, to respond in times of chaos, to use our strength, our skills, and our experiences to bring hope amid devastation and destruction. Together, as a team of brothers and sisters, we're continuing our mission to make this country a little stronger and a little better each day. We are Team Rubicon.
There's a lot of fear in coming back to school. I'm a 40-year-old man that walked in there to get his high school diploma. It was very hard for me, but one of the teachers was Miss Araceli. She gave me direction. Every single time I had a question, she'll put down whatever she's doing and she'll sit there with you until you get it. 50% of getting your high school diploma is walking through those doors. The other 50% is doing the work.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
Welcome back. It is 5:54, and here are the top stories that we're following for you on the Suncoast today.
A duck boat tour boat sank in Missouri, killing 11 and 5 others are still missing. Bad weather may have been a factor.
Plus, Longboat Key is cracking down on rental violations. There's a minimum 30-day rental there for vacation properties. Now code enforcement officers are fining violators right on the spot between $100 and $500.
And Sarasota City Commissioners are putting off deciding about building public restrooms in the medians in St. Armand Circle. Businesses there say they're tired of people coming in to use their restrooms and not buy anything.
Coming up in the next hour, the Miami Dolphins players could be penalized for protesting the national anthem. We'll tell you how much. And we have new details this morning in the investigation into the death of that Northport toddler.
One last peek now at the forecast from John Scalzi.
Ray, thanks very much. So we're looking at temperatures across the region that'll generally be about where they were over the last several days. But good rain chances today will help to cool places at times if you happen to be under one of those showers. Calm in the tropics for the next 5 days. That's good news. Don't worry about it over the weekend. But return to more typical weather as we head into the midweek next week. Back to you.
All right, a full hour of news and weather, and also to talk about tonight's opening pitch in Bradenton.
That's right. Somebody's throwing out the opening pitch.
I gotta leave now, go warm up.
Special theme night, too. We're going to tell you all about it.
Be back in 2 minutes.